What's up, everybody? We'll be getting started here in just a second. Mappy Hyundai. Mappy Hyundai. All right, we can go ahead and get started. Blip, blip, blip. What's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing good today. I wanted to make sure for people that didn't see it, I know I posted it in the Discord, but throw it up here as well. So I'm giving away 150 paints, 33 miniatures, brand new in box. It ends on Halloween, right before midnight, so make sure you get on it. You can see more information on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/mini painting, the mini painting studio, or whatever. Just go to my page. You'll see it. I shared it on the Reaper page as well. All you got to do is paint a miniature. All the rules are available on there. It's just a popularity painting contest, pretty much. So all you gotta do is enter, and then we will upload all the entries into a gallery after Halloween, and we'll let everybody vote. So whoever gets the most votes wins the whole kit and caboodle. So I've already packed up the paints. What's funny is I was trying to figure out like the best way to package the paints up and ship them safely, right? And what I did was actually laid them all together in groups of, I think, like 25 or so, top to bottom, and then vacuum sealed them. So they're in vacuum sealed bags, like bricks, right? And that should, and two, that way, right, if something happens to the package, it should keep it all nice and liquid free. But I was happy. I figured that, I was like, how am I going to ship all this? But anyway, that's going to be an expensive package to ship. I already know. But you're doing me a favor. I just need to literally get rid of that stuff. So do appreciate it. There are colors in there that are convention exclusive, holiday exclusive. There's even like the first batch of rose gold. I think there's maybe one or two of that in there. There's now discontinued paints right off the paint list that you can't really get anymore. And then of course all the Reapercon paints, random miniatures. There's a ghoulie bag, blue ghost or whatever. I got two of them, so I figured, hey, we'll give one away. But anyway, I figured that would be it since I wanted to do the big giveaway when we hit 8,000 people on Facebook. We're almost at 8,500 at this point, so I was like, you know what, we'll just go ahead and take a big old painting dumperino and get rid of a lot of paint. So make sure you do that. And remember, it doesn't matter. Like, what I would do is just play to the strengths of being funny or like doing something that you think everybody else would like, right? This has nothing to do with your painting skill. This has nothing to do with like how technically skilled you are or how creative. You need to be creative, right? But don't think of it as like a competition in terms of a display painting. Think of it as like, if I'm going to upload this. Oh, that's funny. Hold on. It's supposed to be no vocals. But anyway, think of it like, what would a ton of people like, right? And then take it that direction. But you got a little bit of time. Make sure you go to Facebook, RSVP to the event, and that's it. Oh, actually, on the event, so like go to Facebook and you can type in Haunted Mini Painting Contest and you'll find it. That's actually probably the easiest way to find it. But again, it's in the Reaper group, and it's on my page, and you can get all the information you need that way. So, update from me. I think I haven't shown you guys. I haven't really been doing much without the internet working. It's just kind of been a nightmare. Now today the internet should work, but I am canceling my service and switching to a fiber company. here relatively soon. So hopefully that fixes all the problems we've been having. And then at some point today, there is the possibility that it literally goes offline. If that happens, I'll keep streaming. But this company's so terrible here that they're like, we're going to send someone to replace this line, but there's no ETA. So like, I have no idea when it's happening. But let me pop this out. So I did a lot more work on the bus that I'm working on for my mom. So you can see this right here. I'm definitely very, very proud of where we're at currently with the skin and everything else. So a little bit more work, and we'll have this finished up for her. And then that's really it. I've been assembling some stuff just to kind of move things around. The private lesson that I had last week, we did some Necrons. We're going to be painting up all the Necrons out of the Indominus box. But we're going for red crons, which is pretty cool. You can see these little chicken boys right here. But yeah, I thought they turned out fun, right? A little bit higher than tabletop quality, but you know, this student and I, we've been working together for quite some time now, and it's been interesting to see just how fast we can kind of move and get things done, so I always enjoy it. But we can go ahead and get started for today. Of course, last time we did all of our sort of base coating work and everything like that with our washes to get our surface ready for these zombies to run loose into the world. So today we're going to be doing our highlighting and then the radioactive goo effect. So first thing that I would like to do, I'm going to take wyvern leather, and we're going to use that to highlight up some of our clothing here. So we'll go ahead and give that a nice spin. But I hope you guys are all doing okay out there. We had a pretty serious, we had our first cold snap here, so it was like down in the 40s. Put some white here on the palette as well. All right, so highlighting these up, I don't want to use now. Previously, what we did is we used the same colors, right, for a lot of the clothing and everything like that. This time around, I'm gonna try and vary it more. So we will go ahead and highlight up this guy right here. So I'm gonna take some of the wyvern leather, just prep it out onto the palette, and I'm gonna take a tipful of our white just to make this a little bit more desaturated, a little bit brighter. That's probably good right there. A little bit more water mixed in. There we are. That looks good to me. Oh, you know what? So, one second. I'm being bad on my health here. It was funny because all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm like congested. And I realized I didn't take my allergy medicine this morning. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. Okay, there we go. I gotta stay on top of it. I have it here like right in front of my computer, and I still manage to forget to do it. Alright. So here we go. Cold in the 40s, her. Yeah, well, it was like 90 degrees here about a week ago, so like I said, that's our first cold snap. It will get down to negative temperatures, though. It usually gets really cold in the winter. Yeah, actually, we had a brief cold snap about 2 weeks ago, and there was a 40-degree difference in the middle of the day. So you can see I'm just taking this color and highlighting up on the clothing. At least the shirt. And then it will, of course, be back into the high 80s again next week, so. But you don't really have winter until like, well, you know, I don't know. I would say like February, Because January, you'll still get random 70-degree days, and then it'll drop down to like -10. And then it goes back up to like 50. It's really, actually, I mean, it's really difficult if you've got allergies and stuff because your body just doesn't know what to do. Or if you have arthritis or you've had surgery or anything like that, your body just hurts. Or like my poor mom with her broken rib situation. But, alright, so I'm happy with this, at least on the back and everything for the highlight. Now, I'm going to add a little bit more white for our final highlight. And I'm just going to do the top of the shoulder, top of this fold here, and the bottom of the neck. Now, you know, the joke here that we're falling trap into is we're going to be covering some of this up, depending on where it is, with the gross radioactive goo. So, but anytime I know I'm doing any kind of effect that's outside of, like, objects or clothing, right? Like, anything that's going to be going on top of clothing, etc., etc., I'm always just going to paint everything up to its, like, you know, finished standard, and then go back and apply whatever it is. So, and usually, for the most part, that also includes if I'm doing OSL, anything like that. I always try and highlight things up so I don't have to worry about it later. So, but that's easy enough for him. So now, let's see if we have any other browns. I know we have 2. We'll probably shift them around a little bit. So I'm going to actually get this orange brown, get that shaken up. Jeez, guys. English. Monkeys with Fire rating with 15. Well, hey, there you go. Welcome, welcome. All right, so I'm going to take that orange. I'm going to mix it into the wyvern leather because we know that we used that color. Which one do we want to do? Let's do this guy first. We'll do his pants. So I'm going to mix this in. Start a new area on the palette. So now I just have a more orange version. What's cool about that wyvern leather, right, is that it's nice and warm and red-ish. So, we'll go ahead and go in here. Now, I also do know we're going to be covering up probably a lot on this leg because he has a chunk bitten out of it, but I just want to reestablish our base colors. Oh, and I realized, too, I saw somebody, Joshua Nesbitt, I think? Or no, sorry, John Nesbitt, on Facebook. He was asking about the next Miniature Monday kit for next month. And, you know, he was asking, what is it? When are we going to see it? And I know that you guys, we've told you all what it is. But I can show you the image of that, too. So it's the Cyber Police. It's like our cyberpunk futuristic set. But I did share that in his thread he posted on Facebook in the reply. So I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but I'll go ahead and make sure to share that out with you today. So you can see a sneak peek. His reply was, well, that's definitely unexpected and cool. So I think a lot of you are going to be pleased for a change of pace. I mean, I know this is a modern themed kit this time, which we haven't done before, so that was fun. And I'm just using this nice orange brown to highlight up our edges, nothing crazy. Tie-in with Cyberpunk 2077? No. No. The only video game release anything I'm caring about right now is the next Final Fantasy patch, so I can hopefully buy a house. That's the only thing video game wise I'm keeping track of. Hardest part of that game is buying property. All right, cool. Pleased with that. Move on. So that one's more orange. The other one was more sort of tannish brown. So I want this one then to be more of an ochre on Potato Boy here. So I'm gonna use our. Was this a part of the kit? Wait a minute. I have a mysterious paint here that I'm not immediately recognizing. Maybe I tossed it in incorrectly. Do you exist in this kit? You look like you do. Okay, yeah. All right, Bugbear. Bugbear here. Oh, that's funny. It's listed as Bugbear Flesh on the website, but it's definitely Bugbear Fur, but it's the same number, so 9490. All right, so I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna mix it in with a little bit of the Wyvern. There we go. Easy peasy. And then this guy's clothing is so dark and dingy anyway, and he looks like a nice Mr. Potato Head, so we're just gonna very, very sparingly highlight up across the top of his shoulders. And then, let's see. Down the sides. Next thing we'll do is work on the skin on all these ugly graveyard babies. You know, this guy's shirt is kind of like a couch that you find at Goodwill that, like, you're like, man, no one's gonna buy this. You know, it just looks like you'd catch something from sitting on it. But nice and worn. You can see I added texture across the top. But yeah, so what we're doing, if you guys haven't been here before, we're working on pretty much what they are. It's every month you get a kit of miniatures and 8 paints, and they're all tabletop level paint jobs. Nice and easy for people to do at home. All right, so this one, let's just do straight up Wyvern leather here. But so last time we did all of the base coats and washing on these zombies, and then today we're going to be highlighting up and finishing the zombies. So normally we work on 1 miniature every single week on Monday, and from start to finish. This time we were doing 5 minis in 2 weeks, but obviously these are just gross zombies, so it's not like we're doing anything amazing, but we're going to be doing a cool orange radioactive glow goo effect coming out of all of them. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab ancient. Wait, is it? Why does this keep happening? Okay, this is funny too. So on the website, it's listed as ancient wood, but it's ancient bark. So I'm gonna grab ancient bark, and that'll be our skin tone highlight. So I'm gonna put some of that out on the palette. You really don't need a lot of this because we're gonna keep it thin to do all of our tapering and everything. But this is a nice, like, bluish gray. It isn't very neutral. It's definitely cool tone. A lot of pigment. Yeah, zombies never really get to look amazing. Actually, I mean, there are a couple of zombie miniatures. So, like, the Concrud miniature, the metal one that just came out, I feel like you could sculpt him to look really, really... Or sculpt. You could paint him to look really nice because it's more of, like, a video game vibe to the zombie. Let me see if I can... Let me see if I got this real quick. Hold up. I'll show you which one I'm talking about. Where is window capture? We want Chrome? There it is, right here. This guy. Oh, Lord. It's so big. Hold up. Sorry, my new monitor. I got a new monitor, and it's 4K compared to my stream area. Come on. Hold up. There it is. This is very confusing to navigate. Sorry, guys. There we go. This guy. I feel like you could paint this guy to look really cool. Because he's very cartoony, right? Like, it isn't like your normal, just like gaunt, dead zombie. There's a lot of real estate, especially in the face and everything, right? Like, you can do a lot of really good highlights all over the face. You know, he's like chunkier than your average zombie. So I feel like that looks really good. Okay. So, let's go and work on some faces here. So following our same principles we always use. Top of the forehead, top of the eyebrows. Following down the nose, and then the left and right hand side of the nose. To the edges of the mouth, like this. And then we got the cheeks. Pretty simple highlighting. And then on the hands, just feel free to graze across the top. And then just knuckles. To the best of your ability. He's got some waffle fingers down here. And then we have the knee. He has a bite taken out of his leg. And then the ankle, his broken cankle down here. And I'm just highlighting up a little bit. Make it look like the skin is shiny. Okay, then we've got top of this hand here. I'm just going to use the side of my brush to hit the knuckles. And the tips of the fingers there in the front. Cool, that'll work for our purposes. Let's move on to the next one. Let me pull this out. Okay, we're fine. Do the top of this thigh. Moving down the middle section of the thigh there to the knee. Just give it more volume. This leg a little bit less because it's not as forward towards the viewer, so it wouldn't be catching as much light. But you can see I'm still gonna highlight it up accordingly underneath the kneecap there on the side of the calf, and we'll just trail that down to the top of the foot. And we'll do the top of the arm. Top of the arm to Andre. Let's see, did he have the button on Smash this week? You always have to do the Andre call out. I saw him in the chat. We're gonna have to give him negative. Oh, there he is. All right. You always got to make sure he's there, lurking, forever ready. What am I, my phone is buzzing. Pushing on the top of this arm towards the wrist there before the hand tilts up in shadow. We'll do the tops of the fingers, top of that bicep. He has some exposed shoulder for the runway this evening. Okay, and then loosely highlight the top of the chest and collarbone area here, but I'm expecting some glowing goo coming from the face, so I'm not going to do too much. Now then, he's got a potato face for real, so we're just going to do top of the forehead there, going into the eyebrows. He's missing a nose, and then we'll just do, let's see, we'll do some cheekbones here, add some more definition to the face. I have the feeling we're going to paint this guy's radioactive goo coming out of his eyes to help sort of break up the potato-iness. Break up the potato like some fresh herbs. What else do you put on? Like cheese? I feel like cheese doesn't break up potatoes though. That goes with the starch. What? There's no really like. There's no acid that you apply to potato dishes. Like no vinegar. There's no citrus on. Well, maybe sometimes actually. I guess if it's like Spanish, put some lime on it. All right, now we've got the sculpt that they did for Trashorama. So this guy is sculpted in the likeness of Trashorama, in case anybody was wondering. I know most people expect him to be some type of like possum or raccoon vermin, but joke's on you. He's a creepy crawly zombie. So do the top of the forehead. To his eyebrows, we got a little eye there. We'll do the cheeks. Tear duct region, top of his little porky looking nose. Do some of the snaggle teeth. Just like that. Go down the side of the head. Ear, a little bit of the jaw. And that's about as highlighted as we'll go. Yeah, I mean, I could show you, honestly, all of the Miniature Monday kits for the rest of the year, because it's only 2. But I'll definitely show you guys the Cyber Police kit. We can, and it's, if we're waiting on something, actually, yeah, we're gonna, I'll show it to you whenever we get to our gooing, glowing, radioactive stuff. Because I know we'll have to probably wait. So that's as far as I'm going to go on this guy, only because he is just such a precious face. Alright, so pulling down towards the knees here on her. Highlighting them up a little bit. And then tops of the feet. Top of the cheekbones. Corners of the mouth. Top of the nose. Then we have like a serious dangler here for an arm, so I'm just kind of highlighting up little points. If you watched the last episode of Lovecraft Country, got a dangler arm here, very similar. Which, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I don't know if anybody watched the last episode of the season, but I don't really, I mean, I'm not satisfied. I feel like they kind of just... Actually, you know what's funny? I'm not surprised that J.J. Abrams was involved, because just like he got lost doing Lost, I feel like that's what happened with this show. Like, it just didn't really come together the way I thought it would, but it's still cool. Alright, got that one. And our last little zombie here. This guy's the I feel like this guy like lives underneath the stairs. He's like the Harry Potter zombie. Highlighting up the arm, the elbow. Do the knee. Top of the forearm here. And top of the bicep. Down into the forearm. Is it about country music? Yes. It's definitely about country music. There are plenty really lovable southern characters in it, though. And of course, by that I mean like the worst kind of racist Southerner, late 1950s, sundown towns, all that good American history. Tulsa race riot, bombing of Black Wall Street, all those good, lovable things in the South. All right, so gonna do this amazing face here. Looks like he's had something far too spicy. Okay, and so these eyes are really sunken and round, so I'm just trying to accentuate that by doing a little half moon. Do more on the top of the head here. Actually, I kind of wish this one was just bald. I feel like pushing back the hairline like this feels kind of goofy because he's got like the Nicolas Cage. So what? I'm confused. I'm confused by that comment. But yeah, he definitely has that Nicolas Cage. Half the head is missing in terms of hair. But that's all we got to worry about with that. So now we can begin our fun, I say fun, air quotes, obviously, zombification, glowfication stuff. So we're gonna be doing this with just straight up white. Okay. So I'm gonna mix this to kind of like a wash. Now my brush wasn't super clean here, but it's okay. And we're gonna have to do this in a couple layers, but let's start. We'll just do it in order, I guess. I don't know why I always do that, but I always kind of work through the same order all the way through. John definitely does not deserve the cyber police badge because he didn't share the image for it. Alright, so I'm going to flood this into the eyes. Just like that, so it should look pretty crazy. And then feel free to do it into the mouth. Like so. Then we get to decide where the glowing goo is going. So I'm assuming down the shirt. Like so. At this stage, don't worry too much about structure or anything because we're going to go back and tint and glaze on top of all this stuff. But something like that most likely. Tommy, how do you not know I've done this show for nearly a year? That's interesting, though. I don't recognize you, though, unfortunately, right? Because you have a username versus Facebook. So now I'm going to put it on the chomp on its leg. I'm going to go down towards the knee. Like so. Just like that. I feel like that'll probably stand out pretty well. And then, I think... I guess we'll do the back right here. No, let's do this leg. This leg looks like it probably has a chunk taken out of it. Oh, okay, Josh. Yeah, what's up, man? Definitely recognize you now. All right, so we got that. And I'll just kind of gooify. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of dots as well. Every Monday. Alright, and then yeah, I'm just going to add a couple of dots. All right, there we go. So we have successfully gooified him. Let's move on. Let's do this standing guy. Same plan. I knew we had planned the face on this one anyway, just because he's very derpy. So we'll go ahead and flood the eyes. This one, let's run the color down the side of the face there. The reason I'm doing white is because I want it to be super pigmented whenever we wash on top, and that will help the overall look of the radioactive stuff. And then I'm just going to have it trail down the chest. And then we'll pick it back up in this abdomen section and finish trailing it down the front like so. And then he doesn't really have any like chunks taken out of him anywhere else, so we'll just kind of let that one exist in its current stage. Let's do the lady here, the lady of the zombie pack. And we'll do, similar to everything else, we'll do the face. We'll do one of the eyes on her. And we'll let it just kind of bunch up on the right-hand side of her body, like so. Into the arm a bit. Then the other thing, there are like 3 claw marks here, so I'm just gonna gently do 1, 2, 3, like so, and then just trail that down, side of the leg, into the foot. Let's check out the back here, see if we can make anything happen. Yeah, this area probably has got some glow to it. I think he did the hands on all of them as well, but we've got room to wiggle. This guy definitely doing the face and the mouth and everything because he's crazy looking. So we've got that, and then, you know, the body's pretty obscured on this one. So I wonder how we should do it. I'm thinking maybe we'll do it like from the shoulder and then down the arm. That'll probably be visible. Shoulder, down the arm like so. Now the way that I based these was fun, right? Because I had the glow like trailing down the edge of the base. But these obviously are just glued here for our demonstrative purposes. And then this guy, I'm not going to do his left eye, but we'll do the right hand side and the mouth. And then, goodness gracious, he is ridiculous looking. So we'll go ahead and do like the inside of the arm, up towards the armpit, down the forearm completely. We'll just do his whole sort of arm situation there. And then let's do like coming up underneath from the shirt and then down the leg like so. And we can split it too on both sides. Let's split it going this way. Okay, cool. Grab that. All right, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take orange brown. Get more of it here on the palette. Give it a whirl. Wait, why are you not working? Come on, Vortex. There we go. You always have to hit it at the right angle, depending on wherever that motor stopped in the little spinny thing. Very, very highly technical terms here, clearly. All right, so palette land. We're gonna go over here so you can see what's happening. And just gonna add some water to the palette. Move this over here. Make a nice lazy glazy. Start with homeboy number 1. And I'm gonna essentially flood it and do the exact same areas we did to begin with, right? So anywhere I've got the white, and you don't have to keep it directly on top, so feel free to get it like on the left and right hand, like feather the edges. So just kind of pull this towards where we did the direct white, and you will get a nice radioactive glow. Very easy. I mean, the same technique can be done for like corrosion or rust, but obviously on zombies, it's also good way to do some radioactive nonsense. So. There we go. Easy peasy. You can also feel free. I mean, I'm just kind of like, I'm just gonna dot different sections here of the body. Some of the hands. Okay. This guy we just did, but I'm gonna go ahead and glaze over that. And then he's got some other little sort of pock marks across his clothing, so I'm just going to flood this in here gently. Obviously isn't going to stand out as much, right, as doing it directly over the white that we just applied, but it'll still sell. Alright, we have our zombie mistress here, so go ahead and do the scratches, and then down the leg where we had the trailing goo. Radioactive zombie blood. Can't leave home without it. And then we have the mouth, side of the face, into the clothing. I'll do this little fried shrimp hand here. Okay. This guy, do his way too close together eyes, very unsettling. Down the forearm. And then, does he have anything else we can do? Yeah, we can probably do like a section of his back here. I'm just gonna put this around the outline of the clothing, where the tattered parts are, and that way it'll just kind of dry. It'll dry like you would with rust, right? But instead, it'll just look like gross, crusty Krab zombie goo. All right, now this guy, the eyes. And then just glazing right all over the area, not just specifically the wider marks, right? That way we can get a little bit of OSL effect from the areas very gently. So we're just waiting on that to dry. I'll go ahead and do some of these back parts too. There we go. So I'm going to let that section dry, and let me bust out that Cyber Police. Remember, go on Facebook, search Haunted Mini Painting Competition, and you can paint a miniature this month and see if you can win 150 paints, 33 minis. Pra, pra. There you go. But I'm going to replace this with the Cyber Police image. Just give me a second. Whap, whap. Whap, whap, whap. There you go, Cyber Police. So here is our next Miniature Monday kit. This is next month. All future, no breaks, baby. But yeah. So we have the rock soldier there in the middle right, in the shiny blue armor. We have the Cyber Troll on the far right with the big Gatling gun. We've got the, I don't remember the name. It's a weird name. It's one of Patrick Keith's, futuristic races that he does. And then we have the big old power armor, the Bones Black. Actually, everything except for the middle left, so like the crazy one-eyed hero, everything this month is Bones Black with the metal mini. Or not this month, but you get it November. So, and I have the minis here I can show on camera too, but I figured it'd be easy to just pop that up there. And then let me replace this back to the giveaway image. Or not giveaway, but the contest image. But yeah, so the 150 paints and the 33 minis, that's just going to be, paint a miniature. Make sure you RSVP to the event. It's US only. It's going to be very expensive for me to ship it, so I'm definitely not trying to do it overseas for any reason. But you'll just paint something, and submit it, and then we'll do a public gallery of everybody's submissions, and whoever gets the most votes wins. So make sure you get your uncle to show up and vote. #1 best painted mini. So you can see what we've done here already. We've got that nice sort of glow effect on top of the orange. Guess what, guys? This is crazy. I know it's crazy, but here we go. We're going to do it again. We're doing literally a second application on top of all of this. Same consistency. Some areas you don't need it as much, but on the clothing, things like that, we definitely just want to hit the edges of the areas. It'll help sell that glow effect as we go back in with brighter colors. Hashtag free. Free subs via Twitch and Amazon Prime. If you haven't checked to see if your free Prime sub has worn out recently, give it a look. It won't do it for you automatically. And I'm gonna go back over the same spots as we did last time. All right. Go back over her dress here. This weekend on Patreon, we're painting up the Andromedaean Queen. Definitely excited for that. Last weekend we did the Andromedaean Hunter, speaking of Patrick Keith. 2 more of his futuristic sculpts. We did futuristic stuff this month on Patreon. So definitely check it out. Remember, patreon.com/minipaintingstudio. That is the best and really the only way to support me in my fake job endeavors. And you can also buy stuff off of my store. But hold on one second, let me grab this stuff. All right, I'm grabbing this. And where is... Here she is. Okay. So, I said I was going to show you here. We've got the cyberpunk stuff here. All right, let me plop these bad boys back on. All right, so Patreon 2 weekends ago, we painted her up, start to finish. This was fun, painting up the Andromedaean Huntress. Then we have the Queen this week. She's like riding on a floating thing, pretty cool. But here we've got our fun robot. You can see the freehand that we've got rocking and rolling on that. Definitely a fun paint up. What's funny too, this looks like section plating, but it's just freehand metal. But this guy was really fun. Let's see what we got. We got our alien soldier here. Pew pew pew. Definitely fun. I love the metallic blue we've got going on as well. Really good color. Got the cyber troll here. He's a lot of fun. Cool paints up. And then the awesome alien with one giant eye. So definitely had fun painting these up. Nice and refreshing step away from our standard fantasy stuff. And then remember, you can still get the Hobby at Home class where you can get a partially painted version of this miniature and follow along with that as well. You can check that out in the Hobby at Home section on the website. And I think I may actually put this specific miniature up for sale at the end of the month too. So keep an eye out. I know some people were wondering if that was something you could buy, and it will be. All right, so go back over these one more time before doing our final sort of glowing highlights here. And again, I'm just doing a light glaze all over everything. Small potato man. Okay, so now we're gonna take white, wherever I got it on the palette, there we go. And I'm just gonna mix it in with the orange directly. Make a nice creamsicle color, Flintstones pop. Good old Flintstones pop. When's the last time you had one of those? All right, nope, he's still wet. All right, we're still hanging out here. If you guys can guess the villain or villains for our holiday Miniature Monday kit, I'll show you that picture. If you guys can guess it. So, we have a holiday kit. That'll be the last one for 2020. And if you can guess who the baddie monsters are, and I'll put a timer on it, right? So I'll give you like 2 minutes to try and guess. And if it is correct, we'll throw that up on screen too, so you guys can check that out. Sharky says snowmen. Now you gotta think elves. That's a Krampus. You know, 2020 COVID for Christmas. Yeah, that seems about right. Especially with all the new cases happening for the lovely fall surge. Kobolds, Christmas kobolds. I do like the sound of that. Kris Kringle and his Christmas kobolds. That sounds pretty good. But no. I mean, definitely think, what does Reaper have in their repertoire, right? That would be available for something Christmassy, right? Or holiday themed, sorry, rather. But a Grinch? I don't know. A green Grinch? I don't think they make a Grinch. Do they make a Grinch? I don't think so. I think I've seen every miniature that they make for the most part, including unreleased ones. I got unreleased stuff here. But holiday gobos. That's a pretty good guess. That's a pretty good guess. I don't know. Goblins? Why would there holiday goblins, guys? You all just crack me up so much. You just evil turkey. Hey, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. Anyway, we'll scoot our boot. We'll scoot our boot here. Like everyone's like, haha, we guessed it. That was a valiant effort, you guys. Valiant effort. It is quite the challenge figuring out how to make penguins look evil, alright? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this same color mixed with white, and I'm very gently placing it pretty much in the middle of any of our areas where we had the color previously. This is what's going to give us sort of the heart of the radioactive goo anywhere it exists, by just brightening it up. Yeah, so honestly, the holiday kit is probably the best one that we've put together in terms of value for you lovely painters at home, because you are getting the metal Santa, and then we're also including the holiday Sophie as well. But, you know, send off a year's worth of shows and kits and everything. And then hopefully we should have info for anything that's happening in 2021 relatively soon. So keep that in mind. And some of you have a guess anyway, based on the feedback on the Discord we were getting. So but so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just taking our color and doing a nice trail of our glowing zombie goo. And you can add some splattery dots of flair, right? You can imagine this guy working at Zombie Apocalypse Applebee's after the millennials killed it, and he's like, why is no one coming in for appetizers? But move on to this guy. Gonna go directly in the center of the eyes. Go underneath the neck here, right at the V of the neck pretty much, where it's sort of piling up. Highlight that back up. Just started the Miniature Monday kits. Well, I feel like you can catch up. Byron is the king of catching up on Miniature Monday kits. That's the thing too. I mean, so you can probably knock a... Well, I don't know. Of course, I'm speaking for myself here, but because you're working on miniatures that use the same colors, I mean, if you're really trying to be a rock star, what you can do is open up multiple miniatures from the same kit, right, in the video. So just have like 2 tabs open or whatever, and you can sort of skim through the process to figure out what colors are being applied, since they're all the same colors, right, for a whole kit. And you can just batch paint a lot of the miniatures that way, and you can get, you know, a kit done probably in, like, if you had 4 hours to sit down, you could probably do an entire kit, depending on, you know, your speed and comfortability. It's a comfortable. Oh, I'm comfy. Vroom vroom. But something like that. Oh, let's do the leg here. Moving on to this zomboid. Started with the warg. That's good. The warg. I'm glad that. I feel like the warg was our very first paint job, if I'm not mistaken, and it really was such a great way, because I don't paint for the most part typically, sort of like the other learn to paint kits and everything like that, in the Reaper style, because I paint so thin and I paint with so much water, right? It's just a different approach. And doing the layering and the shadow stuff with that warg is a great way to immediately kind of get the idea of how stuff's going to continue on from there. And there are some miniatures that wiggle one way to the other, depending on, you know, what the subject is. But I was glad that one worked out the way that it did. And I feel like it's easy enough, too, that people that may be a little bit hesitant about the entire situation, once you kind of work your way through the warg, you're like, all right, you know, I can do that. I've seen a lot of good results on the warg, I'll put it that way. A lot of happy campers. Alright. So I mixed up some more of our radioactive glow color here. And we'll add to the scratches. If you want these scratches to stand out, right, just make sure you separate your highlight so it looks like the scratches. And then you can taper, or trail down, rather, the goo in the leg from like the middle one. That way they read separately. You can do the edge, right? It'll all work itself out. To the back of the back here. And then our last oogly boogly ugly guy. That was too much, but it's okay. It's okay, we'll deal with it. This is the one we didn't really necessarily know what we were doing with the gooiness. And I'm just going to trail it down the arm, like so. Okay, so now that we've done that, I want to make sure we've got all of our hair in order. I'm going to grab some Noir Black. Both of these episodes were kind of interesting too, because I didn't want to necessarily, like, it's not like what we're doing is difficult in any way, and obviously they were a little bit shorter in general, but I have to keep in mind, right, I'm not trying to overwhelm people at home that aren't used to working in batches. Now, somebody like myself, right, working in a batch of 5 miniatures is, like, very normal. Especially compared, like, there was one very, very dark period in my life a couple years ago when I was working on a army commission for a tournament. and the guy like had to change his flight, and that then meant that I had to ship something like before I was shipping something out on a Monday, and it then immediately turned into needing it to be shipped out on a Friday, right? So like I lost an entire weekend of making sure everything was ready to rock and roll. So I ended up having to paint a batch of 72 miniatures all at the same time, and that's not fun to do. So by comparison, doing 5 is like a walk in the park. But we only ever work on one thing at a time here, so I just wanted to make sure people weren't going to be overwhelmed. And I'm just going through and accentuating our hair here. Alright, let's go to the ugly dude with his extremely receding hairline. Now, you can painter's choice the hair whatever color you want. I'm just going with this dark color just to keep it nice and simple. Maybe we'll fudge the hair. I'm going to fake the hair on this guy. We're gonna pretend the hair was actually sculpted. So I'm going to just do a comb over style look right here. So I'll go down for the sideburn. Do a 4 and a 7 on the sides. There we go. We got that going. Yeah, the entire army I think was like 200 miniatures, but yeah, it was 72. And they weren't necessarily easy to get done either, but it's cool. Same client came back about a year later for another army, but luckily we didn't have the same problem that we did with that one. But luckily I don't do any of that anymore. That is just not you do not get paid correctly. Even with a client like him that was paying relatively well, at the end of the day, I mean, unless you just are okay with making pretty much minimum wage, it's never worth it. There we go. Now he doesn't look so dumb, right? We got fake hair. Of course it's wet. But here we go. Where's the other? What do we got? This okay. So these two have their ugly haircuts. All right, let's go on to our very ugly guy here. What's funny is if you paint the front of the forehead, if you look at the sculpt, you see how it has like that strange bump towards the front of the face? If you paint it like that, it looks like he has like a weird zombie pompadour, so this is skinny zombie Elvis. Anybody in the chat know any Elvis collectors? Like people that are obsessed with Elvis stuff? I'll never forget growing up. My mom like went to somebody. We lived in Indiana for a very brief amount of time when I was growing up. I was born in Texas, grew up in Texas, moved to Indiana a brief amount of time, and then moved back to Texas after living in Indiana for that little stint. And I remember she went to like I don't know why we were at this person's house. Maybe for dinner. I don't know exactly. Maybe like my mom was. I don't even know. But I'll never forget. Every single thing in the house, like the entire house was Elvis themed and Elvis decorated, and the person was younger, right? So she was like in her 30s, and I just remember thinking like, wouldn't it be an old person that was really into it? Was just so weird, and it stuck with me for my entire life. I'm not sure why. Our zombie pompadour. Josh storytime. Yeah, I'm not sure why the zombie pompadour reminded me of that, but to this day I've always been like, huh, we got people out here with Elvis themed houses, man. That's wild. I wonder what hair we could do on this guy. Should we do like nothing? We'll do nothing. He's not gonna have hair. we're gonna ignore the hair on him. Okay, so now what I'll do one final time is I'll get some of the sepia wash, and I'm just gonna use this to kind of sculpt in a Zombador. Oh, well, I hate that completely. I mean, I love it. I love it. I hate that I didn't think of it. I'll put it that way. A Zombador. Oh my gosh. There's so many jokes in me. What? Oh my gosh. A Zombador. That is just so bad. So bad. It's pretty good. Mutton chops. He doesn't have any hair on his head, though. I mean, no. He is sad bald boy. Sad bald boy. Okay. This is the Justin haircut right here. Justin's not listening, so we can... No, Justin! No, sorry. Didn't mean to go there. Alright, so we're going to take the sepia wash. And what I want to do is just kind of sculpt into areas around any of the glow. And by that I mean I'm just kind of glazing. Softening some of the highlights. Justin's always listening. Oh my gosh. He's like the FBI agent, just sitting there at the NSA listening to every single thing that you do. It's terrible. Justin's just sitting there after like monitoring me for years, and he's just like seeing everything I'm buying off of Amazon, and he like finally decides to reach out. He's like, man, is everything okay? Because like, you're buying a lot of stuff on Amazon right now, and it's not even Prime Day. Like, Prime Day's over. What's going on with you? I'm like, well, it's alright. Free returns, am I right? Yeah, but I'm just going to apply this into the shadows here and there, a bit of everywhere. Round out our gross zombie experience. Now, remember, next week we're going to be doing Did I just lose one? What just happened? Next week we're going to be rocking and rolling on the Metal Survivor Mini, the guy with the suitcase. What are the nice suitcases? Toomey? We're going to have to paint it up like a Toomey bag. I think that's the brand. I actually really enjoy a lot of the sculpts from the Chronoscope line in general because they're never as busy as it seems as like fantasy-based minis or some of them. Well, okay, so I'll say the modern stuff isn't as busy, right? Because you just got people wearing clothes. The Wild West miniatures are also a lot of fun. I think I own like every single Wild West Chronoscope theme mini, the Deadlands minis, all of them. I think I have every single one. And they're all refreshingly simple from a painting perspective. But you can see I'm just using that to go in. You're in a toxic relationship with the Amazon Prime? Yeah. 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 We didn't really get anything cool. I got a watch for Prime Day. That's about it. I tried to get some pants. They had like Levi's jeans on sale, like for real on sale. And would have been amazing because they were like 70% off. But they were only like, they called them the skinny taper, and it doesn't matter what size you are. You gotta look a certain way in order to fit into those bad boys. So that was a depressing delivery when I realized, oh, these aren't like normal jeans. But I don't think we got anything else though. Oh no, I got a can opener. Our can opener finally died, so we've been needing one. So I got a little electric guy. That's it. All right, we sculpted that back. So we can make these. I'm gonna spruce these up a little bit. I'm gonna grab this Vex over here. See if it still works after all my abuse. I put it through. Wait. Yes. Stuck on your calves, Nomad. How are you built? What are you doing? You pushing rocks up mountains all day? Why you got big old calves, man? Are you standing on the corner? Is that it? You out there slinging? 1 foot on the corner at all times? You got square calves? Is that what that is? You're on Dykeman up in New York? That's a very niche joke. Oh, I don't have my thinner over here. I'll just use water. It's alright. When in doubt, use water. It'll still work. I need a little bit more. There we go. Alright. Oh, this has been on this whole time? Oh, Josh. You're doing bad. Alright. So I'm going to do a Natterall application of colors, which pretty much is the opposite. You like leg day? That's funny. So it's the opposite of a zenithal application, so it's color from below, or any kind of application from below. And it is a good way to add some mood lighting to miniatures, so I'll kind of show you what I mean here. See how suddenly they start to become way more dynamic with just the little introduction of shadow color. Just like that. Wowee, wowee. It's actually a really good technique, too, if you're painting up like a lot of stuff really quickly. Because you never have to worry about what you're highlighting up. Instead, you're just worrying about a complementary contrast color to the overall theme you've been doing the whole time. Purple obviously works well in this scenario, mostly because we've used orange and very warm browns, which go hand in hand. But you can see that very subtle purple shadow really kicks things up. The reason why it's called Natterall or Nadirral is because the nadir is the opposite of a zenith. I'm pretty sure. It's like literally just the opposite meaning. So for miniature painting, it just works out that way. A lot of painters use this technique too, and they don't necessarily have a name for it. But since we use the word zenithal, I figure, hey, it makes sense to just use the word that it is. And I'm just shooting it from below into the shadows. And you can see the difference that it makes, right? I mean, very, very dynamic, very easy peasy. If you have a big horde of miniatures to paint, highly recommended technique to spruce them up very, very quickly. And the better your paint job looks, the better it just turns out in general. So, even helping out tabletop level stuff, you can imagine if you're doing display painting or whatever, this is what a lot of people do to bake in different colors into their shadows. Brought to you by the good old Reaper Deep Cup Vex. I switched to the Deep Cup and I never switched back just because I had a lot of stuff to paint. So, here we go. Let me clear this all out. Empty it. Airbrush maintenance 107. There we go. Alright, so that's honestly it for finishing up our 2-part 5 mini zombie extravaganza. And that's it. Easy enough. And again, adding any kind of shadow, obviously, it makes it very exciting. But took our potato zombies and made them nice and radioactive. Remember, next time we're going to be working on the other Survivor Mini. Let me grab the other one in case you missed it. I don't think I can. Can I scooch all the way over here? Can I scooch it? Let's see. Yes, I can. So here's the other one that we... Oh, nope, that's the wrong one. Where's our actual lady? Ah, here she is. So, did her first time. Username. Yeah, you can do the shadow effect. Actually, oh, I already washed it out. I should have done it on her as well. So, actually, I can do it on the brush right now and just show you. So I'll just take the clear purple. And, you know, essentially what you're doing with the airbrush when you do it is just a glaze. But shot through an airbrush. So you can do the same thing with the brush. What you got to do, take your happy brush, and you're just going to apply it into the shadows like this. Now, if you want extra help in doing it, yes, very watered down. So this is the, let's get real medical here. This is my middle finger for all the haters out there. Look at that cuticle. But, so this is the amount of paint that I'm applying. Anytime you're looking at a glaze, if you're hearing the term glaze, this is pretty much what you're looking for. So, and then let me break it down further, right? If you are having trouble mixing a small amount of a glaze, then mix it like it's a wash, right? Just mix a larger amount, then just pull a little bit onto the tip of the brush, and it'll work out for you. But, so what I'll do is I'll just take this color and make sure I'm applying it in all of these lower areas, right? In the shadow, and you can see it's pretty much the same effect as what I was doing with the airbrush. Or, if you want to, if you want direct help in knowing where to put it, flip the miniature upside down, and then just do the tops, quote-unquote, of all these different parts of the miniature, right? So you can see me doing this here. Very, very quick and easy to do, doing the bottom side of the arm, bottom side of the chainsaw, hit the bottom side of her jaw a little bit, the chin, her zombie destruction orbs right there on the chest. Very, very simple to do. And I mean, obviously using the airbrush, it is a super quick and easy effect, but you can do it with the brush as well, and you can still richen out, a lot of your shadows by saturating them with another color. And then, the color selection itself really is just dependent upon, the rest of the miniature. And like I said, since we're using a bunch of warm browns and we have, glowing effects and everything like that with the orange, complementary color to that would then be purple. Remember, too, if you ever struggle with color theory or anything like that, I do sell the periodic table of painting on my website, minipainting.studio. You can check that out. I don't sell the physical version anymore because, unfortunately, the another medical term, yes. Unfortunately, because the supplier where I used to buy all of this sweet laminate, they stopped making it during the pandemic and started making PPE, like face shield plastic, which makes sense if they're making laminate. So, can't do the physical, but you can still buy it. It is in print format, ready to rock and roll. You can get it printed the size of a poster if you'd like. I believe the largest I've seen, somebody got it done at like 28 by 40 something. So you can paint it or print it really, really large, have it at home. But it is exactly like the periodic table of elements, except it's colors, and there's some formulas there to help you do easy peasy color plotting and planning. So it's very similar, right, to what we just did with the airbrush. Works the same way with a brush. It's just not as immediately quick and easy. So, but that is it for today. Remember, next time we're painting up the last zombie survivor, and then remember, we're starting our cyber police box in November. So definitely very excited for that. And then the super top secret December kit as well. So remember, double check your Amazon Prime subscription if you're subscribed for free. Otherwise, it'll keep on subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And check out everything else we have going on this week. Justin, do we have any major, exciting, super cool news or anything like that?
Nope, not at this point. Other than we're still waiting on the studio, so.
All right, still waiting on the studio, and that's exciting. There you go. But that'll be it for us here on Miniature Monday. I will catch you next Monday as well. And I think that's it. I hope you find $20 in your pocket. I hope everything goes your way. I hope your enemy forgets how to read and their kids don't go to college and all of those things. So thanks so much, guys. And we'll catch you next Monday.